What's up, my people? What's up, my homies? What's up, my friends? I'm Gnarly Vato, and this is part two of Southsiders. You know, sometimes you might hear me ramble on and stray on, but I'm trying to just get down to the story. But well, when I like I said last time when I met this dude Lewis, right? Well, when we were going to high school, and that's what I was thinking after I had talked about the last one, and I got sucker punched in woodshop by that dude Trusty, right? Somewhere from LA. But that's when I actually realized the first time I actually knew it was real. You know what I'm saying? Like it was gang banging. I was like, I think I tested him. Just I don't know what I was doing, but that's actually when I started really getting more involved in disrespecting these fools because they're already. I kind of more got into it because my brother, he was already involved. So it's like you just because we're so close in age, and so when even when so I'm gonna talk about when I went to juvenile hall, right? So when and and what's crazy about that time, American Me had came out like in '93, right? So that's what I was rambling on last time. American Me, my my uncle took me, my brother, and my sister to see American Me. It was the last movie we seen. I think the last movie played in Lindsay. So we were watching it and we were there. I was probably like 13 years old, 14 years old, and you see that, and you're like, me and my brother look at each other like, we don't want that Christmas night, you know. So that's why I'd be like, that when we went to jail, that was a thought in our head, that you didn't want to go to jail, and then you're like this, like, you're. I got all these newspaper clippings, and that's why it was it was the news, So it was at the time we went to jail. We were 15, right? I was 15 and a half. So I was looking at murder. So you're in there, you're thinking, well, me and my brother went, because they booked us and they sent us together to juvenile hall. So, they take you in there, you go through this little hallway, um, they just strip you down. I think they printed us. I can't remember, mugshot, all that little stuff, No, they did it somewhere else at the police station. But then they just stripped us and searched us again, gave us clothes and told us which one you're gonna be in. So when we went, I don't know. They threw me in there was only 3 units, right? And that was the younger unit with purple. They wore purple, and that's what they threw me with the white girls. My brother was turquoise, right? Baby blue, and my homeboy Nate was dark blue, right? He was the bigger dudes. So when I didn't gang bang as hard as my brother did. They would ask me where, but once we went there, it's like, all right, now it's time to remember what like you got to remember. You remember what actually we remember. I remember. We remember. Don't be no victim like American Me. Because that's what people don't realize. Northerners, we love that movie because there was not many Mexicans on the screen. So when we watched that, we were just enthralled with them gang banging, all the old school, and the music, and just the whole vibe was our thing. So we were, even when that came out, my brother, he told my mom, hey, go buy me some brown dickies. So him and the southern fool went and bought brown dickies and white shirts, dude, and was strolling around like that. That's how it brainwashed them. They were just like Boys in the Hood. How when Boys in the Hood came out, everybody loved Boys in the Hood. Well, American Me was like that for Mexicans. And that's why I always been back of everybody's mind, like, especially you go to jail, you think like, okay, how you want to be the victim, or so it was just crazy. But once I went to juvenile hall, right? That's why I don't know if I mentioned last time. The other story is that there's a bunch of norteñas in there, and they end up. I end up. It took the attention from the south because when I rolled in there was south side from all over the county, and that's what. So when I seen, because I was in there only 7 months fighting my case, so I seen a lot of people come and go. They had me on one side and my homeboy Tiny on the other side. So this for Tiny's get his feel on. Because we thought we were going to look at a lot of time, This is the first time going through this. So we thought we were going to look at murder a long time. Well, I did, because, you're naive to that. You're young. You're not really knowing what's up. And so we went up in there and started dealing with fools from Tulare, mainly. A lot of Surenos from Tulare. That was wicked ass Surenos. Then you got a bunch from, like, the smaller towns, But I had to deal with a lot of them fools, and even it was just crazy, cause them fools, they would throw these fools in other units, and they would get off there with homeboys from like Tulare, rush them or whatever they do, and they would be like, uh, it was, they would send them to my unit. So these fools ready to gangbang. Like my brother, he had, for 15, 16 years old, he already had, I think, Boros or, North or X4. So he where he went, he's like, where are we going to bust their eyes, We're young, 16 years old. He'd be with a little Mongolian, all flamed up, ready for some smoke. And I'd be like, this guy, but I'm his brother. I tell him, like, don't do it, but he didn't listen to. But like, we even got, when we were younger, we used to walk mob a lot, and we got beat up on a few times, because we were young. And older fools, like in the 20s, would jump out and, where you from? And my brother would just be Boros Norte, but they would be like, so that they would just get off my brother, but my brother still tried to fight back. He got beat up by Main Street one time. We were strolling through, and I told him, "Come on, fool, let's get it." Because these fools, this was before I was getting really up in that, But a lot of fools used to kind of at Menachie, because there's a bunch of. Before I went to jail, right? I used to go to Menachie High School, so there'd be a bunch of fools from labor camp. Some other fools trying to make West Side locals, so Campo locals. So they would always. They didn't like my brother, so they didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even. I had barely found my girlfriend. And I was in love, and like. But a lot of I'm catching heat, because they want to smoke with my brother. So that's why even last I was trying to tell you that when he came off one of the buses, when these fools from Campo locals were standing in the row, and my brother just jumped off. He was getting out the bus, and he just boom hit this fool, the first fool right there at the line. And just started brawling, beating him up. I was there waiting, it hit me and like 5 other people, but we had to head out of it, split out real quick because the guard dog was on us, And we went to the homegirl's pad right there behind Walmart. It wasn't too far down the way, So that was one little battle. But when we were in juvenile hall, it was just off the hook. Well, because we were young, we couldn't go get away with stuff, But a lot of fools are just talking all this crap, just like, just sit there in a chair, just mugging. Like, what's up, And so I tell you, I got sucker punched so many times, it was it's crazy, So after a while, I just be anxious, and just be like, you think punch me or I'm gonna punch them, like. Because you just didn't know fools. Fools would be wild, They were just unpredictable. You're young, you're impulsive. That's why right now I actually want to help out some little youths right here who's having trouble where I'm at in my local little county, Because I'm not right there up in where I used to be from. Because, like, I was even thinking earlier, after I have rambled about the other story, that After I paroled at 18 years old, I was there till like 26, 27. That whole continuous time, I was on guard. Just I couldn't even relax in my own city. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, and I'm from the town. You know what I mean? It's like, but at the time, fools were they like, hey, either with this fool or against this fool. But anyway, back to the subject of Juno Hall and all these little fools. You know, that's why even there's another these other homeboys I had heard. Well, what I heard a while back, there's a dude from Lindsay, right, who got murdered. I guess you know they Goyle, right? And I was like, what Goyle? What? Well, because I knew him from Lindsay, but he was I call him Donkey. You know, we're in Juno Hall, right? And it was crazy. That fool was, you know, wow. I actually thought he was a Sureno. I thought he yelled "Sud" out the door, cause he was like a paisa. You know, he came in late. Fools, we be on our doors, you know. You know the fool tiny. This fool kicked the door so hard and so many times that the alarm went off. There was a little light bulb above the door in there. Cause these were old building. That the alarm went off. They didn't know how to turn it off. You know, like fools just were crazy in juvenile hall. You get bored sometimes. You'd be like, there's a fool named Loco Janoko, right? He's right across the cell one time. And then I go, just because you get bored, and you know, and I'd be like, oh, Loco Janoko. And he'd be like, he'd jump out of his bed, go to the window, and say, fuck you! And just start punching the window with the metal screen. That's how crazy the fools were. 16 years old, just destroying his hands. You know, he ended up. When I was on parole, they violated him if he didn't take his meds. That's how wild he was. You know, but I was on parole so long too that the PO would tell me, "Hey, tell this fool so and so if he don't check in, I'm violating him." Because I knew everybody in town. You know, but yeah, when we're in Juno Hall, it was just crazy because I encountered all these Southsiders from all over the county, you know, and I'm thinking here I am like, damn, if only my brother was not, you know, that's what they always be like, oh, what do you do? Go hurry, brother, you know, and then a lot of times we get caught slipping, walking down Newcomb, you know, and we were very chilling. We'd walk from, we'd wait for like 10 of us at Veteran Park, and we'd walk all the way towards Applegates, and my other homeboy Nate and George split off all the way towards the river, and we would break off towards West Putnam, you know, because we lived on Putnam, right by the driving. So it's like, you know, and then when you were really like, we used to take all the smoke from everybody else. All the homeboys didn't even like us because we were just representing. They called the weak side. Oh, you from the weak side? Like, yeah, I guess from the weak side. You know, after a while, like from the west side, homie, what's up? You know, but in there, it's like in jail, you gotta pick up your flag, or you gotta put it down. You're like, you know what? I give up, because you see some of the hardest fools be weenies, and you're like, what fool? I thought you were crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you go up in there with real fools that are cutthroat. You're like, am I gonna survive this? You know what I mean? That's because fools really about that. You know, like even when during Juvenile Hall, a lot of fools. Cause my brother had the Mongolian. He's like super North Daniel, you know. But the only other ones that ever had it was from Tulare, the other homeboys. You know, I seen a few from Bison, but the main always had a Mongolian. So when they see my brother, they'd be like, you know. And my brother was real charismatic, dude. People were drawn to him. That's why when we went to court with my homeboy, you know, they said he was like Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, and he killed people. You know, they're like they say when he was that there, my homeboy when he was sentenced. So, you know, they say my brother like Jeffrey Dahmer, Charles Manson. My bad. You know, he could mess with everybody's mind. That's what they said. The DA told or my homeboy, he's Nathan's mom, because they said, oh, Roy manipulated Nate to stab Johnny, but no, it wasn't even that. I believe it's because Nate loved my dad. He's called my dad Pops, you know. He's always be at my pad, dude. We were like carnals. We embraced him, dude. He was a family that he never had. We were the family that never had, you know. And we loved that fool. We literally, me and my brother, when he got shot, we went to Fresno because 3 people got shot that night, in in Tulare County, that were in Fresno, the hospital, you know. And that was another homeboy, Easy, from the west side. But he got shot in Tulare, in the alley. But Nate was there, Easy, and then some other homeboy or some other dude, you know. They got shot that night. Well, we were there at the hospital, right? We seen Tate, I seen Harvey, and a few other fools that were there, right? I was like, I didn't like them, like with one of them, but I was like, but at least I didn't like them, but at least I was there, glad to see homeboys there, you know, for my homeboy. You know, the homeboy Joby had rolled up, you know, Paul, and so it was actually quite a few homeboys, you know, but so we went and tried to talk to this, try to go see Nate get buried in the hospital. His mom wasn't there, you know, let us, and me and my brother literally were crying, dude, to get and go and see him. And she seen us cry, and she didn't knew that we loved him that much, you know. But yeah, my homeboy Nate had all kinds of tubes and hoses coming out of his body. It was just horrible, you know. It was a sad day for us and everybody. But anyways, when we went to juvenile hall, yeah, it was just like the war was on, the battle. Like when it's on the street, it's one thing, but when you're in there in a cage, you can't get away with fools. You know, they catch you at the day room or eating. A lot of times they catch you eating. You know, because that's when you're vulnerable. When you're going to maybe showers, but just chilling. You know, it's just wild. You know, even when, well, that was just juvenile hall. I think I got like 4 altercations. I'd have to think about them real hard, you know. And so even when I hit the YA, that was like I mentioned the other one. I was transferred to YA with 2 Southsiders. They threw me in the middle. They're like, oh, how you like that one? So I was shackled between two Surenos all the way up to Sac. You know, and I'm like, man, how's this? It just That's why I used to hate the ride from Tulare County to Sacramento on the jail bus. You know, we'd stop in Fresno, maybe Madera, Merced, you know, whatever's along the freeway. If someone was violated, we'd pick them up, you know. And it was just horrible. I hated it. I rode the bus like so many times. That's why I hated going to jail. I've been in jail so many times. It's not fun, you know. It's nothing to laugh about. It's it's this crazy life. You up in the game, and then me, I'm always drinking. You know, I was always didn't give a crap. You know, that's why I maxed out from YA, like I tell you, 7 years. But like even when we went to NRCC with these fools, when I was between them, because they book you in there, right? Take off all the clothes you have there, give you some, and I think they took their clothes back or threw them away. Can't even remember, but they're like, hey, you got any personals? I'm like, the police took that for evidence, you know. But when you're in, then went right there, it was on cracking up in YA NRCC Dorm 1. You know, and then it was, at the time too, that fool Kukui was right there in Dorm 4 because he was a violator. And then my brother was in Dorm 2. The homies in Tiny was with me Dorm 1. Right when because my brother and Tiny went the same day together. And right when Tiny seen me, he was so happy, like, you know, wait. Then he grabbed he like, threw a kite, a string through my door. I was like, it was like welcome to jail. Then he's like, pull it. And I just started pulling, and here comes some noodles. Oh, well, that was crazy. They hit it with chocolate, you know. And then when I went to YA, I had athlete's foot, right? But right when I hit there, they gave you chanclas, and within like a week or two, my feet were cleared up. Because juvenile hall, they didn't give you that. You had young fools, they piss up in. I don't know what the hell they did up in there, but my feet would. I'd take out my socks and peel off what's called meat off my skin, off my socks. It stink like that. It was just off the hook, dude. Jail's off the hook. That's why I like to get a hold of some youngsters who are at that stage from like 8th grade to high school and try to talk some sense into these fools. Tell them to be more life, than out there destroying the community, and their family. It was crazy. And then like in there, it's like a free for all. That's what I talk to my wife, right? And she works at jail facility, and I tell her like when that first day you walk in there, YA dude, if you're young, right? At the time they had two wings, A and B, right? Left and right side, I guess. And you go down one side, and all you hear is "F you" or "Boo boo 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 boo," bulldog barking, or "F you," just disrespecting all over the place. It's like total chaos in there. Everybody's wolfing. They call wolfing out the door. So you're walking, whatever, and all you hear is fools just talking crap. It's just insane, man. Like dogs barking. You go to what's called go to check out the pound, and you have all the dogs barking. That's how it is. Like wolf, just like they say wolfing. It's just like that. And then when fools get out, they're like, "Wait till I get out," and boom, it's on like Donkey Kong. It'd be crazy. Like you see a lot of fools from San Jose, right? And you had a lot of these Surenos from San Jose that were banging Sanjo. You're like, dang, these fools. That's why back then it was barely fools. Like they say, these upstate Sureños. It wasn't known then about that. It wasn't known it wasn't known then what it's called now. But those fools always put in work because they had to. Because if not, fools would put in work on them. So that's why you gotta learn to respect your enemies. Oh, we call all fool bitches. But once you're up in there and excel in the cage in the hallway, it's on, man. It's crazy. It was just wild. Like one of the first times too, because when you're there for the first time, I think they kind of watch you for a couple days, put you out there by yourself. I can't really remember. It's been a while, but I remember I was in there with this fool. I think I mentioned the other video. This fool from Baker's put VBKS or whatever. Bottle Baker's X3 with mustard. He's sitting right here in front of me because it'd be rows of chairs, and he sit right there so I could see it. Just let him know where he's from. And like games like that, and it was crazy because we're still young, immature, impulsive, or scared. That's. I tell you, like I was thrust into this a lot of times. It's like, all right, dude, get in there. You wanna, like the time. Put it like this: the time I went to jail, I was watching Aladdin with my brothers and sisters. Before I went to juvenile hall, all this. So thinking about my mind process, I wasn't, whatever. It's weird. It's crazy. Yeah, that's why I don't know if you guys seen that fool Chito Aranas flat out, and he was talking about, what he's been through and how he feels. And that's for real. I've never been in prison, but I know someone close to me has, and he said, "You talk about prison." He was talking about, you know. Yeah, I hear that. That's what my homie Nate used to say, bro. Nothing glorified. Stay out of there, But it was just a little battle with Southsiders, because them fools they're picking up, because a lot of them fools used to move from, I guess, Monrovia, right, and even in Woodlake, the fools would be they had that on lock for years. It's just been crazy. The Southside Kings, and then they be battling homeboys all over that area. But then fools be putting it down, you know. You gotta respect your ops. If not, you get caught slipping, and you know how that goes. But you know, I'm just want to talk about Southsiders, you know, and my little spiel, my real deal spiel. You know, even with me and my brother got in a little brawl in Baker's at a menudo cook-off. You know, my brother got mace to break him up. You know, it's hot. It was hot, like 107. They threw him in the cop car with the Sureno. He just fought. You know what I'm saying? My sister got punched. Lucky I made it out of there. You know, but my brother told me when he was up in the cop car with the Southsider, because there was only one cop or security. You know, we're walking out. We're up in the menudo cook-off, just drinking because we had we were up in there making menudo, my uncle. So we kept buying beer. We brought beer in, snuck it in, you know, and we kept drinking, getting drunk, and these other Surenos everybody getting drunk, fool, and then these fools kept looking at him, my brother kept looking at each other, and it's like, and then right, probably like they mugged each other like 4 or 5 times. That's what I think is stupid. When you sit thinking about life and all these stupid things that happen, you're like, especially with alcohol, man, that destroys so many people's lives. That's why all this Anheuser-Busch crap, I'm like, man, maybe that's a good thing that happened because they done destroyed so many people. You know, people died over Bud Light, Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, you know? But anyways, what I'm saying, they started fighting on the way out, and these fools got managed by security, you know, and I threw a few punches, but I was in and out because I'm like, dude, I got, you know what I mean? This guy's all drunk and crazy, but my brother said the thing when he was in there sprayed, dude, like couldn't see, handcuffed his back, and that Sureno told him, hey, homie, you go wipe your eyes on my shoulder, because my brother had no shirt on. You know, he couldn't wipe it on. And you've been in a cop car, there's nowhere to wipe your head on, your face. You know, and that fool's right there in the air. Put your head on, wipe your face on my shoulder. You know, and it was called. My brother did, dude. But my brother told me that. You know, and my brother's be posting in Santa Paula out that way, Fillmore. He got beat up jumped at a bar, you know what I mean? They tried to run him out of town there. But he held his ground, dude, and they learned to respect him. He's known out there, up in Fillmore, you know? But it's all about respect, you know? Even Bakers, they try to run up on him down there and us. But we held our ground. Because after we moved from Porterville, 2 Bakers, dude. Fools from Florencia, all these gangs come to from fools from LA come with posted Bakers, right? And they bully the fools from Bakers sometimes. When there's a lot of them, and the fools from Bakers get right, they be like, why did you put in work on these fools? You know? And like, they ran up on my brother, my older brother, and my brother had a pit bull. He was washing his car, and these fools roll up and they drive by the pad in a Suburban, and it was called. They stop in reverse, and these fools, this one fool gets out and say, what's up, you know? And he walks toward my brother, and my brother puts the hose down. He said, the dog we had, Poncho at the time, ran over there, and the dude like, no, you know? My brother told him, damn, this fool commanded Poncho, and Poncho listened to him. He said, he was like, dang, but then all these other fools jumped out. Like 5, 6 other fools jumped out. Because my brother was walking towards them. Because that was going to be a one-on-one. And he backed up. And my brother had the strap. You know, and they came and pulled it out on him. But they called the cops. Cops went, tried to snatch my brother. You know, but it was going down over in Baker's. Dude got shot at. Grip of times. Fools. It was with the business. You know, and that's just moving from Porterville. Battling my own homeboys in Porterville, and then I get away from there, and then go somewhere else, and start gang banging over there. But I wasn't even, we were in a gang bang. We were just minding our own business. Fools wanted to smoke, you know. But they got the smoke. It was wild. It was wild. Then they had a helicopter. So we're dealing with the ghetto birds. You know, it was off the hook. But this, I'm just rambling on about the Southsiders, dude, and counters, you know, and it's all respect. You know what I'm saying? You got, like I said, how you catch an Apache with an Apache, and that's what we like are, you know, just different kind of Indians. But I'm gnarly Vato, and I'm here rambling on, because that's what I do a lot of times. You know what I mean? But stay gnarly and stay out of trouble.